Anglers all over the world have heard tales of the legendary fly fishing in New Zealand. Huge wild trout and some of the most pristine rivers you've ever seen in your life. But accompanying those tales are warnings of all the challenges you may face. Fish numbers are pretty low, and the ones that are there are spooky, picky, and just tricky to fool. Can someone who's never fished in this unique environment find any amount of success down here? And how in the world are you supposed to choose from the endless, excellent rivers on these islands? If you only have a short time, you probably ought to hire a guide. But what if you didn't have a short time? What if you had a whole southern summer? Then could you crack the code? There'll be challenges. Nothing worth doing ever comes easy.
You win that round.
But this isn't some impossible dream or an unsolvable puzzle. Once you put the pieces together, you'll reveal some of the best fly fishing in the entire world.
I love this fish. Stunner rainbow. That is a healthy South Island brown. Just to catch a fish like this in a place like this, super special.
This is my summer in the Southern Hemisphere, searching for the best fly fishing New Zealand has to offer. My name is Sam, and this is a Fly All Season story. Thanks for watching. Part 4, Fiordland. I'd left the farms and drought of the Southland behind, trading crowded rivers for the mountains of the Fiordlands. First up is a well-known and pretty popular river that I'd heard was among the most scenic in the entire country. I was sure of the scenery, but the fishing, less so. This river's peak fishing season is early and late in the year, months behind me and a month or so in the future. For this first unknown day, I chose a section pretty close to the road in case I needed to bail early. My time in Southland had me checking rocks to match the hatch, and there was plenty of food around. But I'd been waiting months for the legendary cicada fishing I'd heard so much about. My first blind cast into this pool would be an indicator of how these few days were gonna go.
Well, I wasn't totally sure what to expect on this river. I knew it was a good early season river, but apparently fishes well into the mid-season too. And that's my first really solid South Island rainbow. Caught a couple smaller ones at the last place, but This is a nice fish. He's got a big chunk of his tail missing here. I wonder who's responsible for that. Well, I'll get this guy back. I blind fished him up, so I'm hoping I can keep having success with that. I'd love to sight a few, but there's a lot of glare. It's tough. Great.
After weeks of struggle, that felt too easy. Surely I'd have to work harder for the next fish.
At first glance, I thought this was the same size class as the last one, but it's a touch bigger. That's an amazing rainbow. Man, this reminded me of the North Island. It's really a throwback. That's a really nice fish. I'm so happy with that. Put up a great fight. Took a lot of line. Once again, just kind of blind fishing, some likely looking spots. I'm having a really hard time seeing, but there's some really good, likely looking water, so even if there's not a fish everywhere, eventually I think I'll keep picking them off if no one hops above me in the river.
One on the cicada and one on the nymph. Heck of a start. But keeping expectations realistic, there wouldn't be a fish from every good-looking pool. I would have to actually work for my fish on this river.
Yeah, I've seen probably 5. I caught 2.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Not a bad spot, like, is it?
No, I'll take that. I'll take that for sure.
At this amazing looking run, there were a few guys putting in kayaks to run the canyon downriver. I had actually run into them a few days before, so we spent some time catching up. Rather than linger while they were putting their boats in, I decided to keep going and I'd fish this run on the way back. There was plenty of good water to be found upriver.
Oh man, I came up for the cicada.
The fish in this river were fighting harder than any I'd experienced thus far. Almost everyone was taking me way downriver. You just gotta love big rainbows.
He's moving. Just a stunner rainbow. Oh, I'd really missed the rainbows. I was catching a lot of browns. No rainbows until today, really.
These fish are the reason I'd come all the way down here. I'd lost my way in recent weeks. This river reminded me what it was all about.
Not much better than a cicada muncher in the fast part of the pool. Just come up and wham. The wind started to pick up a little. Sight fishing was already tricky. Now it's very tricky. So I'm gonna keep blind fishing. Honestly, all the fish I've caught have been blind fishing. Got 2 takes sight fishing, but stick with what's working. This run fits into the category of, no fish. Really makes me wonder. Someone ahead of me or something? I don't know, because that's gorgeous up there.
My hunch here was correct. I started to see a couple sets of footprints coming downriver from the next access point.
Well, I've reached what was always going to be the end of the line for me, the next campsite. So, time to turn around. I didn't even see any fish or have any evidence of fish since that last one I caught. It's kind of disappointing. I think I saw some footprints. I think there's somebody that came downstream and is working back up. Which is a bummer, but 3 fish. I'll take it. Great day. They're all gorgeous. One of the prettiest places I've ever fished. And I'm very glad I hiked out early of that last trip so I could make this happen. Beautiful day today too. Like, the weather's really turned around. It was a little iffy for a while, but we're rocking. I got a 5-kilometer walk back on the riverbed. Probably won't make any casts. I might look for a fish, just out of habit. Alright, do it.
Of course, I wasn't done just yet. I still had this one run to fish.
Bad drift at all. Came for the swung cicada. I think we have a new fish of the day. This is just great rainbow. Oh man. I'm on my way out too. It's just a pit stop. He was all the way on the other side of the river. Made a mediocre cast. There was some drift at the end, but he came for it anyway. So, swung cicada. This is a gorgeous fish. Really, really pleased. If that's the last one of the day, that's the best way to end the day in my book. Another stellar rainbow. Oh man, they're really treating me today. These fish are beautiful. The colors on this one, he's really, really pink, really red. Man, lucky day. Really tough to pick a fish of the day, but in hindsight, it's gotta be that last one. That was one of the best days of fishing I've had in my entire life, almost all on cicadas, in one of the prettiest valleys I'd walked through. But I was far from done with this river. Up the valley a bit, there was a long stretch away from the road that would give me at least a couple more days of fishing. Up here, I would get a better idea of why this is one of the most beautiful trout fishing rivers in the world. Slightly dreary, cloudy, but beautiful morning. Got an early start, so I'm gonna meander along. This gorgeous day would be periodically interrupted. I really had no idea what this helicopter was doing. The water up here was a little different. Sight fishing was back on the menu, and the terrestrial bite wasn't on just yet. After a few pulls, I spotted a really nice fish. Unfortunately, now I would learn about the helicopter. At first, I thought they were dropping rocks or something. But I learned that they were actually dropping a pesticide called 1080. Also known as sodium fluoroacetate, it's currently the most effective method New Zealand has for invasive pest removal. Ethically, oh boy, that's a rabbit hole I don't really want to get into right now.
I did find it a little jarring they were dropping it from a helicopter indiscriminately in this pretty popular valley. And I'll just say I didn't like poison pellets raining down on me from above, spooking the trout I was stalking.
Spooked him at some point. Today's gonna be tough. A lot of glare, a lot of wind.
Wind is something I couldn't escape on the South Island. It would be a constant issue these coming days. Conditions were a bit uncooperative, but I eventually would get on the board.
I'm very happy to see this fish. I've been struggling all morning. It's a nice little rainbow. Pretty small for this river, but took the cicada. I'd missed quite a few fish earlier, so happy with that. And I've been seeing more, so I'm hoping for a good afternoon when the terrestrial bite really kicks in.
In general, fish numbers seemed a little lower up here. The scenery more than helped pass the time.
Walking for a while, so windy, finally saw a fish. It's gonna be a hard cast. Ooh, a brown. I spooked quite a few fish today and missed some opportunities, but finally starting to put it together maybe. Second fish of the day, my first brown in this river. I'm excited. I like some variety, you know, catch both species, rainbows and browns. That's pretty fun. Don't get to do that too often down here. Yeah, not a massive fish, but took me pretty far downstream. Good fight. So windy today. Love it. Good fish. There's a pretty solid rainbow right down there. I'm gonna have to just drop the cicada on his head and see if he'll take it, and then figure out how to land him. There's a lot of steps, so just hook him first. Man, that's so disappointing. I didn't literally mean drop it on his head, but I did.
I still had some polishing to do on my technique, especially in this wind. But fish activity was definitely increasing as morning turned to afternoon and the terrestrial bite really kicked in.
This is a really healthy rainbow. Very, very strong fighter, let me tell you. Oh man, took the cicada again. I love cicada season. You really can't beat these big fish with big, foamy, dry flies. Like, I mean, what's better than that? And in a place like this too, I feel like I keep saying that, but alright, I see a fish in the corner up ahead. I'm thinking this is probably my last chance of the day, so, oh man.
Three fish was still a great day for me, and I had a long walk back, which wouldn't be complete without an attempt at least one more trout.
Got this beautiful bow on my walk home. I love this fish. He's very colorful. There was a brown and a rainbow in this spot, and rainbow beat him to it. I had assumed this fish was spooked because, I don't know, he was right there and I just fought the other fish, but this nice little brown was not spooked. Whew.
If three fish was a great day, those two bumped it up to an amazing day, 2 in a row. I finished the walk back to my camp as the fading light crawled up the peaks and got ready to take a day off. This couldn't be a more different day than the previous one. Rain was forecasted the whole day, so I'd have to occupy myself somehow. I couldn't come to the Fjordlands without seeing the most famous fjord of all, Milford Sound. I even took a cruise. Absolutely stunning place, but the people were too much for me. Went to Milford Sound today. It was very cool. I'm glad I went. Took a cruise, my first real tourist activity, but it also reminded me why I don't do tourist activities. People are so obnoxious and annoying. My God, was it crowded, and there's something about oblivious tourists that is just the worst. It's the worst. I'd much rather be out here by myself. I am glad I didn't fish today though, because it's been raining a lot. Currently raining. I don't know, I'm just gonna hang out in my car the rest of the day and maybe tie a couple flies. Fish tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, rained a good amount yesterday. It's still a little misty this morning, but this is my last day I have on this river, so I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but it's gorgeous. I've caught my fair share of fish on this river, so today's just bonus.
This misty morning, I caught sight of a bird that had mostly eluded me so far, the kaka. I briefly saw their cousins on the North Island. This South Island subspecies is one of the main reasons for the helicopter predator control I witnessed a couple days back. They're making a comeback in this valley, and it was great to see it. Seems like they were there 1 minute and gone the next, but at least I got one good look.
I got too close to that one, spooked him. I was overconfidence on my end. Gotta rein it back in. It's raining and it's supposed to be sunny.
The lingering rain wouldn't last long. Soon enough, I'd have another sunny, windy day on my hands.
Well, the sun's come out for me. That's been nice, but the wind is tough and not in the forecast, so frustrating. When I can find the fish, though, they're willing to eat the cicada, so I just need to go find them.
Conditions are so influential on the fishing experience down here. I'd have to go back a while to find my last perfect day. But you learn to adjust, and in hindsight, these days fishing in the wind and glare made me a much better angler.
Alright, there's a decent looking fish, like, right there on the cut bank. Man, I spooked him. That's really frustrating. Wasn't really paying attention, admittedly. Very late hook set.
After a couple miscues, I found my first fish of the day.
Man, what a relief. I can go home happy today. Nice fish. Pretty dark, not too many spots. I'll get him back quick.
Combined with the morale boost that first fish always brings, I was finally getting to the section of water I'd had my eyes on since the beginning. This upcoming stretch was forested instead of an open tussock valley. Finally, some shelter from the never-ending wind, and I expected some stellar pools too.
Well, it shows if you stick with a frustrating day, you can get it done. It's my second fish of the day. Nice, healthy little rainbow. Pretty solid rainbow. Some of the best aerial acrobatics I've seen so far in New Zealand. Man, feels good. Doesn't have to be a trophy, but just fish will turn the day around, surprisingly, huh? This is a gorgeous river down here. I love these meandering corner pools in this forest, mountains everywhere.
A couple bends into the forest, I laid eyes on the best fish I'd encountered since Nelson.
Okay, this fish, oh my gosh, I just want to pick him up. Oh man, that is a healthy South Island brown. Whew. This is the best fish, probably the second best fish I've caught in New Zealand. He's so thick. Oh man. This is gonna be tough to beat, I think. Holy crap. That fish came from out of nowhere. That's why I blind fish. Nice rainbow. That one outsmarted me. I had a tangle in my fly line, pulled out enough line to get to that, and while I was worried about that, wrapped me around a rock, went way upstream. I tried to cross to catch up with him, but snapped off the hook and took my fly. You win that round.
That would have been the best rainbow I'd caught in this river, but I wasn't in the mood to dwell on it. The forested section ended up being pretty tricky. I spooked a good number of nice fish in here. When I popped back out, the wind was just as unrelenting as before. The afternoon was wearing on, and I was looking for that last fish to top off my time on this river.
Can never decide what approach to take on these fish. What works with one seems to not work with a few others immediately after. I'm at the point of the day where I don't really trust my eyes. I feel like they're playing tricks on me. Looks like there's a fish. Looks like. But really, if not in a spot that would make sense, so I have my doubts. Yeah, I think I was right not to trust my eyes. Man, if the sun would come out for my last 30 minutes, that would be so nice.
Ask and you shall receive, sometimes at least. The quality is unbelievable. Another gorgeous fish. Man. I'm having a hard time seeing. I saw a couple blobs on the far bank. I was pretty sure one was a fish, just kind of tossed the cicada over, and this guy just darted out and inhaled it. It's a thrill. What a fish. Oh man.
that wraps up my last day on this beautiful river. Bittersweet because just look at it. There's some really nice fish, but something big in the works coming up. No more this river, but I will miss that view. This is one to come back to.
One of the most beautiful rivers in New Zealand, for sure. And the fishing more than matched the aesthetics. But wilderness? No. So up next, I'd planned a long backpacking trip into the heart of the Fiordlands. It wouldn't go according to plan. The culprit was nothing I could have predicted. I was craving the backcountry, so I drove a few hours deep into the mountains. The research I was able to do indicated that this could be an amazing river, or maybe not. Kind of a mystery. Conflicting reports aside, I wanted to find out for myself. That was a lovely walk. Made it to the hut. The river's huge. It doesn't seem flooded, it just seems huge. So I don't know if I'm gonna make this a 5-day trip, it might be more like a 3-day trip. But there's fishable stuff, there's definitely fishable stuff. It's just gonna be hard getting to it. There's a smaller tributary that's still like a solidly sized river that flows in pretty close to here. So I'm gonna spend the afternoon fishing that. Start off something easier, and then tomorrow figure out access to the main river if I can. But on the other hand, this is a stunning place. This is the coolest place I've been on this trip so far. Just think there's glaciers within view. That mountain must be 6,000 feet, 5,000 feet above me right now. Yeah, not bad, huh? I think starting with a cicada is a safe bet. I've heard a lot of them on the way in here, but I don't really know. So here we go, just going for it. Well, popped out at the main river, and boy is it stunning and intimidating. I don't know how I'll be crossing this at any point, so I'm gonna have to be really strategic with my access points. The forest is really dense, but man, am I happy to be here. It's so cool. I've never been to a place like this. Maybe I can find a fish or two in this main river. I have about maybe half a kilometer walk. Yeah, about a half a kilometer walk to the tributary, so let's see. I was headed back to shore to make a quick fly change when something I would have never expected swam up the river. Yeah, that's a New Zealand fur seal, and that's a big trout it's swinging around. I'm over 20 miles from the ocean. I have no idea if this is a common occurrence on this river or if this is just a special seal. That was a seal. I'm pretty far inland. He just caught a trout, right in front of me. That's not good for my prospects, but that's so cool. Wow. I'm just watching him downstream now. He's whipping the trout against the water. All right, on we go. My concern over the size of this river was magnified times 100 now that I had much more skilled competition than another angler. Damn seal. Catching all the fish. Seal came back and got ahead of me. He's going to the next pool. I think I might be screwed. He's taking all the fish. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's like a torpedo. I've never seen anything like it. I did not know they were capable of that. This is a strong, fast river, and he's really effortless. It's frustrating me, but very cool. I quickly transitioned to that smaller tributary where I figured the seal hadn't ventured. I hadn't seen much, and I was nearing the end of the line when I was blind fishing this run.
With that marauding seal in the main river, I'm not sure how many more fish I'm gonna catch, and if this is it, hey, I think it's worth it to come in here for this one and the scenery. Just to catch a fish like this in a place like this, super special. It's a really healthy fish, super silver. Love it.
There were a few more promising spots, but that fish was all I'd see, plenty good enough for me. A storm was building up the valley, and I didn't have the energy for the massive main river anyway. Back to the hut I went. I saw some lightning and heard some thunder up the valley, but it didn't rain on me. I enjoyed a night alone in the most beautiful place I'd been so far. Well, thunder, unusual for New Zealand. I'm done for the day. I'm gonna give the Big River a fair shake tomorrow, but I'm also not opposed to hiking out tomorrow. There's a longer trail. I could just do a backpacking trip, but I'm not really packed for that. I'm packed for a fishing trip. So I'm gonna give tomorrow a shot. We'll see how it goes. I'm not super optimistic with that seal in the river, and access is pretty tricky, but hey, you know, you never know.
falling back asleep after sunrise. And now I'm getting kind of a comically late start. It's like 10:30. That's okay. I'm kind of just out here to relax. This isn't the kind of river I can really grind hard on. I don't think. It's just inaccessible. There's just not much I can do. I will be grinding for the hours I have, though.
I did give the main river a fair effort. Looking at the footage now, I'm not sure it truly conveys how challenging this river was. The bottom was unstable, and this is a deceptively fast, strong, deep, and cold river. It looks like you could cross in a lot of places, and I tried a few times, but I didn't feel comfortable doing it by myself. Even the small side channels were a challenge. This short section was accessible, but most of the river was lined with dense bush and steep banks. Again, if I had somebody else with me, maybe I would have been a little more daring. Plus, remember that seal? I didn't see a single fish. There was some nice water, but mostly featureless and empty. If I could go back in time, I'd explore upriver more instead of hiking out. But I have to remind myself I was 3 months into a 4-month fly fishing road trip, and my motivation waxed and waned. I wanted to ensure I had maximum motivation for the next leg, though. When I think of New Zealand today, I think of this next river. I'd be spending 4 days deep in the Fiordland backcountry on a river with the best fly fishing I've ever experienced.
That's a gorgeous fish. Well, what a first fish of the day. This is a gorgeous brown. Look at that. Whew. It's really tough to beat that for me.